So I say it all the time. Everyone needs a Wendy. Wendy's story was so interesting to me because she started off back when she was a Get Clients Now student, so she was in my world. And then she came on to help me at the stage where I needed help with product delivery. So she was one of the people I hired 5 years ago for product delivery. This was back when I was like doing a ton of coaching. Now, really, the only coaching is in my inner circle. 99% of my business is low ticket courses like this one. So I only do coaching to my inner circle, my very few inner circle students. That's it. And then I answer questions in the coaching group. So I have that as well. I'm in there, and I do a monthly coaching call there as well. So anyways, Wendy was a Get Clients Now student, and then she came on as an assistant coach. And I was talking to her one day about something coaching related. And she was like, oh yeah, like I was, I don't remember her exactly, but it was basically like, oh yeah, I was like a pretty high up in management at FedEx. And I was like, manage? Like, we are literally actively looking for someone to help us manage and run this team that we have. You have experience in that? And it was just I was like, what? So then she started talking. She was like pretty high up in FedEx and like helped run people. She was like in the people management business at FedEx and has so much from that experience to share. And so it took me time to really appreciate Wendy. Wendy was a slow burn for me, and she would be fine. She would know this. We've talked about this because I think that everyone needs a Wendy because Wendy's job is to slow you down in a good way as an entrepreneur. Us founders, we run chaotic. I run chaotic. People like Wendy force you to pause and ask, what are we not thinking of here? What could break? And then I wrote down, when stuff does break, she's there to help you fix it. So practically speaking, Wendy helps hire all the internal team management. She sends out contracts to the new hires. She manages any, like, there really isn't team drama, but if a team member ever is like unsure of something or like doesn't know who to talk to about something, she's that person. I call her the spine of the business because she also handles like the unpleasant things. Like every so often we get someone unhinged in my inbox. Wendy helps manage that. Sometimes we'll have a customer that we didn't do a good job on, like they didn't get access to something. And Wendy, helps. Wendy with Trina and Janny helps just take care of our customers. So a lot of the unpleasantness of business, Wendy takes away from me. There's a couple things here that I wrote down that I really want to share about Wendy. She makes the whole operation flow much more smoothly. And right now, because if you go back to the original org chart, see if I have it on here. So everyone technically reports to Wendy. And they do in HR capacities for sure. Like Wendy gives them their contracts. Wendy gets them set up to track their time. Wendy handles all their like onboarding stuff. The really nice thing about that is that not that we've ever had to do this. Like I have not had to let someone go to my memory in a long, long time. Like I'm so traumatized from, we did have to let one team member go. But the nice thing about that is that Wendy could handle that. So anytime we have to let someone go, which, like I said, has been like once in 5 years, I think. Is that right? Yeah, once in 5 years, to my knowledge, once in 5 years. I could be forgetting, but I think it's like once in 5. Because trust me, I remember when I had to go fire 9 people in a row. So I think it's been once in 10 years or in 5 years, and she handled that. If, knock on wood, God forbid, someone else like starts doing meth or something and has to get let go of, Wendy would handle that. And I've done so much unpleasant stuff over the last 5 years, whether it's handling customers or just managing all those 30 team members. It's really nice to have someone who handles that for me. And it really, even more importantly than handling the unpleasant stuff, she frees up all the little snacks. Think of it like you're trying to run. And you're wearing a sweater, and your sweater just keeps getting caught on nails, caught on little tacks. And so it's not like your knees are, like, it's not like your legs are breaking. It's not the end of the world stuff, but it's just stuff that you just snag on it. And it's just 1,000 little problems that keeps a lot of founders stuck. I don't handle any of that. Wendy handles all of that for me, and she allows things to run smoothly. So I said, you need a person whose job it is to catch everything that's falling. They need to be good at operations, and they need to love systems, and they need to love organizing. And all of that, if you're a founder like me, is going to frustrate the hell out of you, because I hate systems. I hate, like, some systems I love. Systems to make me money, systems to make sales on autopilot. Give me that all day long. But back-end systems, oh, it's a nightmare. I can't stand it. It's so boring. But for some people, that's their zone of genius, and that's what they're good at. And that is Wendy. Wendy is so good at that stuff, and I am just not. And I find it the worst. So she's the perfect person to do that. And then you have to have the humility as a leader to let your operations manager, like your manager of operations, do that. Let them do their job. And that's what I had to learn. Trust them. And that's what I had to learn. Because it took me, like, I'm a slow learner. Wendy would be like, I think if you're going to do that, here's the problem that's going to happen. And I'd be like, you're wrong, and you're overly cautious, and I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you're right. And then my stupid ass was like, oh my gosh, what? We have the exact same problem Wendy said we were going to have? And you'd think I would learn the first time, but I honestly think it took me like 4 times of Wendy doing that, where I just was like, okay, if Wendy says we probably shouldn't do something, we probably shouldn't do something. Again, I remember another one was like, I was thinking about switching from Samcart to ClickFunnels, and she's like, I really don't think you're going to like it. I really think it's a bad idea. And I was like, well, I really want my 2 Comma Club award. I want to have proof that I've made $1 million. And Samcart didn't do that. And she was like, I don't think that's worth it. I'm like, you know what? We're running so much money for this business, and credibility matters. And so many of my peers are on the 2 Comma Club. So I moved something. God, I moved like 1 funnel over to ClickFunnels, not all of them. And it was an absolute disaster. I hated it so much. And then, funnily enough, once we decided not to do it, then Samcart releases their version of the 2 Comma Club award. And now you can see my face. I've done it twice. Oh my gosh. Bada bing, bada boom. Now I have one. And they're making one soon, I guess, for once you've hit over 10 million. So I guess I'm going to get my $10 million plaque soon too, which is exciting. All of that to say, I've learned to trust Wendy the hard way. It feels intimidating to hire an operations manager. Even that phrase sounds intimidating to me, and I literally have an operations manager. So I wouldn't really think about it like that. I would say once you get to the point, which is towards the bottom, it's your last hire of those 5 hires, look to raise your head and look to see who in your world, in your business, is solving problems for you now. Who's solving problems for you currently? That's your first indication of who your ops manager is going to be. And the good news is you don't have to worry about that until your 5th hire. So it's not something you have to worry about right now, but you're going to get to the point where you know what, it'd be really nice to have someone else handle this. So it'll come very organically. But as I always say, everyone needs a Wendy.